Hey y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, episode 6. I'm not sure if I want to add episode 7 at the end of this or just do 2 separate ones. I do know the show is over for right now. I'll figure it out once I edit. Anywho, this is the episode after the explosive dinner between Brandy and Dorinda. Can't wait to see the aftermath of this. I did see the episode already, but I can't remember what happened. So it's the morning after the chaos at Bluestone Manor. It is day 6. And now we're getting a little narration from the cute butler guy in the confessional. Outside the show, we find out that Marco the butler on Instagram, he's not a butler in real life. He was just, I'm guessing, some out-of-work actor that knew somebody and pretended to be a butler. And he was just spilling the tea on behind the scenes of the show. From the tea he was given, apparently he didn't have to sign an NDA. But anyway, yeah, I wish him well in his acting endeavors since he's clearly not a butler. He also called Dorinda the most difficult housewife of the trip. So first of all, with Dorinda, who's acting like the chaos that happened the night before had nothing to do with her. And then she's saying she has a hangover and she's not used to having one. Right, girl. She's talking to Eva outside on the patio, and there go Eva with that cigarette again. Like either she had a blunt in her hand this season or a cigarette. Dorinda's telling Eva that she's glad she's in a good place with Jill again, for now, and the only thing she has to work on now is what happened with her and Brandy. So now we find out the itinerary for day 6, and not that much. So first is breakfast, and then they're going to a winery, and then Dorinda's having a Christmas in September at her house. I think the Christmas in September is a callback to Roni when Dorinda made it nice, really nice at her house for Christmas for all the ladies, and it wound up being chaotic. Jill and Dorinda see each other for the first time in the morning, and they give each other a big hug. It looks like both of them are glad that they're not beefing anymore. I'm not sure how genuine this is, but it just seems like they're getting along just for their own sanity. We're with Brandy now, and she's still pissed at Dorinda. She's saying, we're not gonna do this fake stuff, like, oh, hey, Dorinda, how are you? She's like, we're gonna have an effing conversation. I think Dorinda knows she messed up. She's trying to be all goody-goody and nice, but she's still Jekyll and Hyde, and this is why she's still probably gonna be put on pause. So in one room, we have Jill talking to Dorinda, and in the other room, we have the ladies having breakfast. It's Tamra, Vicky, and Brandy, and Tamra is telling Brandy that, look, Dorinda went off again in the car on the way home. Looks like she went off on Vicky again. And Vicky was just like scrolling Twitter, like looking at, I guess, her ex-husband. Was he her husband? Her ex-fiance's child. And Dorinda was like, don't do that. You shouldn't do that. Dorinda's just digging a deeper and deeper hole for herself. Having this at the Berkshires did Dorinda no favors. I mean, maybe there'll be some type of turnaround in the next and last episode, but for right now, it's like, jeez. Brandy's telling her experience to the ladies about just being mad as hell at Dorinda, and she's not gonna let her get away with it with just like a little apology. She said she's been doing this every day, and the night before was like the biggest. Seconds later, Dorinda walks into the room with Jill. She's sitting next to Brandy, and just like, how are you? I love you. Dorinda apologizes immediately, but then, of course, gives excuses right afterward and just saying that she was triggered by the mention of death. And by the look on Brandy's face, yeah, she's not buying it. Ooh, Dorinda is backpedaling and pussy popping. Well, yeah, I just used the wrong reference, and that's why I apologize. She thinks by saying, I apologize or I'm sorry, that it just all goes away. And all the ladies are trying to tell her, no, it don't work like that. It may work on New York, but not with these chicks. So Dorinda keeps saying sorry, but Brandy then asks her, why are you so mad? She says it's been every day you've been going off on people, and Dorinda disagrees, of course. She's like, oh yeah, with me and Jill, that was something different. And then I think Tamra said, well, how about just no drinking today? And then they remind her, we're going to a winery. They will be drinking every day on this trip. I think, I don't know, like by day 6 and 7, I would be tired of drinking. We then cut to Dorinda in her confessional, just feeling really sorry for herself, saying, I really tried to make it nice. You know, like I didn't want it to be chaotic. Well, stop drinking then. It really sucks because Dorinda is a pleasant, kind person. It's just when she's 4 martinis in, that all changes. As Dorinda leaves the table, the ladies are still talking about her, and Brandy's saying it just doesn't go away like that if you say sorry. They're on the topic of how drinking may be a factor and just wondering should they be drinking today at all. Eve was like, oh, I don't know about y'all bitches, but I'm gonna be drinking. In her confessional, she's like, yeah, this may be a retreat for y'all. This is a vacation for me. I hear that. I mean, just because y'all can't control y'all liquor doesn't mean, you know, I gotta like go cold turkey. So now all the ladies are at the table, and we find out that Phaedra is the one that organized the wine trip. And she knows nothing about wine. But then again, Phaedra knows nothing about law, and she's a lawyer. The ladies are all talking about how they want a positive day at this winery, and even if we do get a little drunk, no hitting below the belt, no cutting people deep. Eve was really like trying to set the tone, and then Vicky agrees with her, like no cutting down, like just don't do it. I'm not used to this. And of course Vicky's referring to Dorinda without actually saying Dorinda's name, but then Dorinda, of course, a hit dog, picks up on that and tries to make an excuse, but Vicky's just saying, just let me be. Because I think Dorinda is really annoyed by Vicky's presence. I mean, I get it. Still, don't pick on the woman, like if she's not doing you anything. So they're going back and forth now, and Vicky's like, how about I just don't tell you anything? So the ladies just leave the argument on that. Eva goes upstairs to do her podcast. Tamara is reminding Dorinda that she canceled Christmas last night in a drunken rage. And, you know, we get proof from production, of course. And she said, why don't everybody just do their own thing? They need to learn how to not pay Dorinda any mind when she's in that state. Like, why would you take a person that sounds like that seriously? It's like if I just told somebody, oh, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to eat a dozen pizzas back to back. I'm telling you, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I don't think I've ever gotten that drunk. Have I? Maybe. So I'm guessing between the little break they have before they go to the winery, a bunch of the ladies are in Tamara and Vicky's room. Tamara and Vicky, I think by day 6, they have had enough. They're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And like Tamara is close to tears. She's like, I just don't know if she's going to yell at me if I do something she doesn't like. Like Brandy and Phaedra up there. Vicky is talking about dying for some reason. Vicky be making me laugh for all the wrong reasons. She's like, guys, if I die, just let everyone know she died sad. Really, girl? Like, she need to take her uppers. Her Lexapro is low right now. And of course the other ladies are laughing. They can't take that seriously. Next scene, we're with Jill, and she's checking in on Taylor in her room. A common theme right now, I see this episode, that everyone is fatigued right now. Like, being in that house must have been stressful. So they're talking about what transpired between Taylor and Brandy. And if y'all forgot, Taylor is the one that started that fight, and Jill is gently letting her know that. She's like, oh, you know, if I gave you a mirror, you wouldn't have recognized yourself. From Taylor's perspective, she's saying that she just needs to learn how to be the bigger person with Brandy, even though she was the one that started with her. And then with the other group of ladies, they're saying they didn't even recognize Taylor the other evening and how she came at Brandy. But Brandy does say she regrets saying what she said to Taylor. So now we're with Tamara and Phaedra, which is an interesting combination we haven't seen 6 episodes in. And Tamara says what we're all thinking. It's like, Phaedra, you don't really talk about yourself that much. Like, Phaedra is present, but she doesn't really disclose as much as the other ladies are. So she actually brings that up to Phaedra. Phaedra says, I'm private. Girl, you are on a reality show. Ain't no such thing as being private. You signed up for this. If I don't want somebody in my business, I wouldn't go on a reality show. How about that? Now we see Tamara trying to draw some stuff out of Phaedra. Like, you know, who you seeing? You say you have a man? Even when Phaedra answers this, I don't believe her, because I know Phaedra lies. I also feel like Phaedra hasn't even talked about her time in Atlanta at all, or maybe the producers edited it out. So Tamara's asking some good questions. So now she got Phaedra talking about her divorce from Apollo. At first she said she got divorced twice. I was like, wait a minute. I never heard that. But she meant that she got divorced from Apollo twice. Like, he appealed the divorce, then they got divorced again. And again, as Phaedra's talking, I don't believe her. So then Dorinda's the topic of conversation between them, and Tamara's just concerned how there's no ownership of Dorinda's actions, even when people are calling her out on it. And she's saying that maybe the solution for her to understand what the ladies are saying is for this to be delivered by Phaedra, since I feel like Dorinda, she wouldn't yell at Phaedra, let's just be honest. And she's trying to say that Phaedra's demeanor is like more kind. I just think Dorinda ain't gonna go off on Eva or Phaedra. So a little later, the ladies are off to the winery. I love what Vicky is wearing. Look at her. Vicky looking good for once. Anyway, they get to the winery. No one wants to sit next to Dorinda. Nobody. Like, we see Vicky saying in her confessional, oh, well, I gotta be the one to sit next to her. But yeah, so before they get started on their wine, Phaedra says she brought her Bible and she wants to read the scripture and prayer. I cannot believe what I'm watching right now. But then Phaedra, she gets really emotional. I'm not sure if this was directed at Dorinda or maybe this just hit Phaedra for some reason. But yeah, everyone says amen, and I mean, maybe just because it's coming from Phaedra that I can't take it seriously. Okay, so now she transitioned from the prayer to get started to talking about Dorinda and her behavior. Okay, I see the transition now. Dorinda accepts what Phaedra's telling her, and she's saying, you know, now that I see this now, I'm going to fix it. So the ladies are eating and drinking. Vicky brings up the topic of Housewives and just wants to hear from the ladies their experiences of their franchises. And we as fans, we love to hear the behind the scenes tea. So she starts with Phaedra and asks about her departure. Phaedra shuts that down immediately. She says, nope, not talking about it. I don't like that, Phaedra. I don't like it. Now see, I've been rolling with you all season, but I don't like this phony shit that you doing. You on a reality show. We want to know, like, your experience. What have you been up to? Like, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think you had a fair deal? So then in her confessional, she's saying that there's two sides to every story. She's calling it a crock of BS. Now, outside of the show, I did see an interview on one of the blogs, and she said that she did talk about her departure from the show, but the producers took that shit out. I could believe it, but then I heard a rumor that it had to do with legal reasons of what she was saying. I don't know, I just think Phaedra would be more likable if she disclosed more. But that's the thing, Phaedra has always lied and was always shysty. Like, when she came on the scene lying about her due date, what else wouldn't she lie about? And here's the thing, no one challenges Phaedra at the table. That's another thing I don't like. Like, why nobody challenge her? It's just like, hey Phaedra, we've been talking about all of our lives. Why haven't you talked about yours? Like, no one did that. We just moved right on to Dorinda saying that she was put on pause again. And of course, Brandy calls out Dorinda when she said she was put on pause. She's saying, well, I think you're, a little bit in denial. And Dorinda's like, well, that's what Andy Cohen said. Andy Cohen says a lot of shit. Ooh, so then we find out that earlier on the drive to the winery, Brandy and Dorinda had a very candid conversation about being on the show. And Brandy's saying her experience, how she was drinking, how she was depressed. She sees that in Dorinda, and Dorinda will never cop to that. And I think once she does cop to that, she'll be better and back on the show. But Brandy gives it to her straight up. She says, people want to see you how you were on your first 1, 2, 3 seasons. They don't want to see this Dorinda now. If you keep going like this, you're going to stay on pause. Dorinda knows what Brandy's saying is true, but I don't know. I don't think she's accepting it. Nope, Phaedra, you don't get to ask any questions if you're not providing any answers. Well, what's everyone's most fun memory on the show? No. Why are you not on the show no more? And did Carlos King tell you to say that rumor about Candy? Answer it. Nope, I don't care about their most fun moments. I want to hear the mess. I want to hear the scandals. I want to know, does Andy Cohen get on your fucking nerves for firing y'all? My first fast forward on this series. So they all disperse from the table, and then we see Vicky and Dorinda. They're gonna have a one-on-one away from the other ladies. So it looks like they're having this understanding of each other, but I mean, considering after the show that they absolutely hate each other, so oh well. So they hug it out, and again, it's a band-aid on a gunshot wound. So we're in the middle point of the episode, and I gotta say, like, I feel like things have calmed down. Like episode 5, that was the climax of this season. And now we're just going back down as like the days are going by. So ladies, I'll get back to the house to chill before the Christmas activity in September. A few hours later, and we see Dorinda's entire house is decked out in Christmas decorations. Christmas trees, lights, ornaments, and all. I wonder how long that took. Yeah, this looked like it took maybe 15 to 20 people to get all that together. So all the ladies come downstairs. It looks like Phaedra's the only one who dressed in red and green. Everyone else is just like in formal wear. Does anyone else find this Christmas activity a bit weird? Like, I get the call back, but I don't know, like I feel like they could have done so many other different activities. Now Brandy gives us a little tease saying that the dress she's wearing is what she was supposed to wear to the reunion that she was disinvited from. And the reason why she was disinvited was because, you know, Denise Richards wasn't playing. She had that cease and desist ready for Bravo. And side note, I don't understand why anybody wants Denise Richards back on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She had a good first season and it went down from there. And speaking of Denise, Brandy is talking to the ladies about that situation. I honestly think Brandy ain't lying about it. I'm wondering, was there anything that Brandy has lied about in her career? They are really making a thing about this Denise situation. So Tamara then says she knows Denise, and Denise called her to just get advice from her how to handle that situation. And she told Tamara that this didn't happen. Tamara tells the ladies that she believes Brandy. Ooh, and then we get some exclusive tea from Tamara telling the ladies that Denise Richards hit on her at BravoCon. Productions add a sign on the screen, I'm guessing to make sure they don't get sued by Denise. They're saying sources close to Denise have denied this, just to make sure they're good on their end to not get sued. Yeah, something happened with Denise. Like, why Tamara would lie about that? There's no reason. In this moment, Brandy is vindicated, and if it wasn't true, I'm pretty sure Denise would have took Brandy to court. So I think it happened. Lord, so now all the ladies are talking about who'd you have sex with in the room? Like they're a bunch of gay guys or something. Of course, everybody wants to have sex with Eva because she's gorgeous, but what does this all have to do with Christmas? Like they just want a Christmas backdrop while they play Truth or Dare or something? Oh, Jill, she's saying she feels extremely offended that no one wants to have sex with her. So they all head to the dinner table, and Jesus Christ, like Brandy will just not quit until she fucks somebody in that house. She kissing Vicky on the lips? Really? Because of Dorinda's confession, she says she's purposely not drinking tonight because she's just exhausted and she feels like everyone is watching her. But yeah, I mean, it looks like nothing dramatic is going to happen at this dinner. So now, not only is Dorinda not drinking that much this evening, we have Jill, who is actually quiet. Like, she's not saying much either, and the ladies pick up on this. They're giving hypothetical questions now. Brandy, she sounds like she's drunk right now. Thankfully, she's not offending anyone. And here she go talking about having sex with somebody. Girl, shut up. So now amongst these hypothetical questions, it's just an excuse for Taylor and Brandy to go at it again. So Taylor is, explaining where she was coming from with Brandy. She tells her, yeah, with Brandy, she's either fucking or fighting. That's a little shady to tell somebody. I don't know. They should just not talk to each other anymore. Yeah, I'm glad that conversation is over because we already know, like, after the show, they still hate each other. So why waste my time and y'all's time by discussing it? So some ladies are still at the table while the others are outside on the patio, and we have Brandy still trying to fuck Vicky. Like, I bet if Vicky was all for it, they probably would have had sex on this trip. So as everyone's talking, everybody hears like this loud shh or whatever. And it turns out to be fake snow coming down, and everyone is excited about that. All that damn fake snow, they just making a mess. So now the ladies go inside and they're about to play White Elephant. I think they did this on Real Housewives of Atlanta last season. And just like that scene in Atlanta, this scene is boring as well. So we just watching this gift giving, and this is the best Fiends tea, y'all. I guess all the dramas from episodes 1 through 5. Damn it. Everybody getting along. I'm more interested in my drink right now. This Simply Spiked Lemonade. I have not had this before, and it is actually pretty good, y'all. This video is not sponsored by Simply Lemonade. It's just that fucking good. Okay, so now we at the lap dance portion of the evening. Brandy's going around giving people lap dances. I mean, first Tamara was giving Taylor one, Brandy was giving Jill one, and now she's crawling over to Vicky. Okay, so they're all dancing, and then they take shots, and that is where the episode ends, y'all. Everybody getting along, so I guess the show's over. We got one more episode left. I'm done filming for the night, but this next episode is going to be during the daytime. We shall see. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about episode 6. I really do think we're coming down to the finish line, so not that much is going to happen in episode 7. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for episode 7. Bye.